Dude, right-wingers are such crybabies, dude. They have designed their entire culture around resisting against tyrannical government. The moment that the government is being tyrannical, they're like, oh, please do more tyranny, please. Of course, as always, the people that seemingly are paid to be wrong, ironically enough, they do it for free, but they should be paid to be wrong, are constantly getting things wrong all the time. Streamer Hutch praises the restraint of LAPD and criticizes Hasan Piker for implying the police will fire on protesters as police begin firing on protesters. Oh. That's kind of what it feels like.
Okay, all right.
If that makes sense.
Makes sense. I just think I mean, listen, is it not kind of comical that he's been given this commentary about like, oh yeah, that's standard issue weaponry. That's usually a surefire sign that things are about to pop off, and he's been doing that for like an hour. And so far, it seems like the police.
Wait, what? That, bro, that's crazy. Ain't no freaking way he was talking this big shit. Ain't no freaking way. Southern lion? This man is no lion, okay? Wait, he was watching my protest coverage for an hour straight, just hate watching? Are these guys all right, man? He's like, yeah, I've been watching for an hour and no one has killed him yet. What's going on? Pick up the slack, LAPD. I like that he is so, like, his perspective is so anti-me. Like, this guy's supposed to be a liberal, okay? His perspective is so anti-me that he's just decided, like, police actually don't brutalize people at all. I don't know why he's saying that.
He's been given this commentary about, like, oh yeah, that's standard issue weaponry. That's usually a surefire sign that things are about to pop off.
Also, half of the things that I was saying was like memes. Like, I don't think, like, you know, when I say cops, like, loud noises scare them. Anyway,
like
let's watch.
Like an hour, and so far it seems like the police are showing restraint. Like, they're not advancing. They issued a dispersal order and they haven't advanced. Oh yeah, no, they use that technology in Colombia. To, oh, okay. Oh, me right.
Yeah, f you, actually. Yeah, f yourself. I love that this guy is so consistently wrong. It's so funny. Brother, make up your own mind. You can, like, if you position your whole shtick as being against me while simultaneously claiming that you're a libtard, you're always going to be wrong, and you're going to be wrong in the direction of conservatism to a degree where, like, other liberals are probably going to look at you and go, I don't really f you, man. You're constantly saying it is wrong and also kind of conservative. These guys refuse to develop their own political perspectives. And basically, they refuse to develop their own political perspectives and basically decide that, like, their whole thing is like, whatever I'm saying, they're going to say the opposite. Leftists hating other leftists more than right-wingers. Who is surprised? He's not a leftist, man. These guys are just like, they're grifters, okay? Speaking of grifters, this one is a liberal grifter, right? This one is the liberal version of this, but there's also a right-wing version of this as well, a more right-wing version of this, and that's Asmongold. Okay, where is it? I saw the Hasanabi Productions posted it. Apparently, Asmongold also has some takes on this. Asmongold, Hasan is a fake revolutionary. He's not on the street putting his life on the line. Chat, he was literally protesting in the streets. Asmongold, well, he should be arrested then. Like, they will go, hey, man, why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you getting off your ass? By the way, he never gets off his, even though I get off my ass all the goddamn time whenever there is, like, an opportunity to mobilize. And then when they find out I did actually get off my ass, then he goes, okay, well, then he should be arrested.
You see Hasan? No, I don't see Hasan. I heard he was out there. I don't know. I think that I saw an image of it, and I think he's on, like, the side up the top. So he's not actually going to go down there and stand in the in this area, because if he
Oh, goalpost shifted. No, I was down there, dip.
I think they're going to push in from this side of the road. Oh. That my hair up.
Oh, he went in, but that's not enough. It's not enough that he actually is there. He actually is not like in front of the line. Oh, he is in front of the line. Okay, well, then he should be killed.
If he did, he'd get in trouble. Right? Like, he has no problem LARPing as a revolutionary, but actually putting it on the line, this is going to be very different, which, to be fair, he was. Well, if he was actually doing that, he should get in trouble. Like, I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to go and double check. He already did? Oh, I'd have to double see and see it. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think all these people should just get arrested.
That was so quick. Someone was like, no, he was down there. It's like, oh, he should get arrested. Like, that was literally, bro, the goalpost shift was so fast. He just went, like, dude, oh my God. He went, he's not down there. He's a LARPer. He's not down there. He's a LARPer. Where are you? You're at your house. Why don't you go protest alongside ICE, dude? Put your right on that, okay? Put your right in the front lines. Stand behind the ICE agents and be like, please kill these people. You have no problem saying that from home. You know? Go to the pro-Israel rallies and be like, we want more death. Yeah, go assist ICE, you goddamn bootlicker. Jesus Christ.
Like, I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah,
Look, this part is so funny, though. Holy someone being like, nah, he was there. He was in the front lines. Like,
different, which, to be fair, he was. Well, if he was actually doing that, he should get in trouble. Like,
just no. Oh, he's just then kill him, arrest him. Come on. What's happening?
I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to go and double check. He already did? Oh,
dude, right-wingers are such crybabies, dude. They have designed their entire culture around resisting against a tyrannical government, okay? They're like, oh, yeah, come and take it. Like, I got my gun. Like, I'll fight tyranny, you know? They wave the Gadsden flag. But then the moment that the government is being tyrannical, they're like, oh, please do more tyranny, please. Actually, can I assist you? Can I assist you in the tyranny?
Hopefully one day we'll see the largest political commentator, Asmongold, out here in the streets, you know, for protesting, for, I don't know, making...
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll go with the National Guard to arrest everybody who's standing in the highway. Yeah, I think that sounds great. Yeah, if I could go and do that, I feel like, you know what? That sounds like a really good idea. I love that idea. This guy's smart.
We love the tyranny.
The double C and see it. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think all these people should just get arrested. That's really how I see it.
Asmongold looking at the picket lines during the civil rights struggle. Yeah, all these blacks, they got to get arrested. And the whites too, actually. Separate but equal, guys. Yeah, based. It's separate but equal. Too much, if you ask me. It should be separate and unequal. But they got equality. It's just separate. They don't like it. Yeah. Why are they resisting? Yeah. Based. Yeah. I was going to be on board, but LBJ, not really good that he sent the National Guard to Selma. Why is he protecting these criminals? Obviously, the law's the law. The law's the law, guys. Chat. The law is the law. These blacks that are trying to walk, trying to march, how about they don't march? I don't like it. We want to keep them separate. Yeah, law's the law. Law and order. Restore it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how like there's no other solution to it other than that.
There's no other solution. By the way, the beauty of this is these people, okay, are engaging in a behavior that absolutely is a nuisance, okay? They're protesting and they've blocked off the highway in an effort to protest, right? Except they're protesting for a good cause, a cause that I 100% agree with, that ICE should not work within the confines of any state, really, but especially not in Los Angeles, which is a sanctuary state and a sanctuary city, right? No ICE. No ICE in general. If you were to ask me, I think it should be completely dissolved. It should not exist at all, okay? In the past, before the Department of Homeland Security was invented, ICE did not exist. You had the INS, which would routinely conduct raids as well, which also should be, it was significantly more limited than what took place since ICE's invention, which is, again, a relatively new phenomena in American history. Okay, a lot of people take it for granted. You think the Department of Homeland Security was like always around? Like, is post 9/11? Okay, and so is ICE. And INS's activities, mostly, aside from like every now and then going after undocumented migrant workers, but their overwhelming majority of INS activities still revolved around like sex trafficking and like criminal elements, right? There are already federal law enforcement agencies that are supposed to be tasked with dealing with like drug trafficking. You got the DEA, weapons trafficking. You got the ATF, right? And kidnapping and sex trafficking. You got the FBI. ICE does not need to exist. It simply exists as a way to militarize immigrant enforcement, which is a civil, which is a not a real crime, basically. Like crossing the border is not considered a real crime. Overstaying your visa is not considered a severe enough crime that is supposed to be met with this level of force, this level of apprehension and mass detentions. If it was the case, then ICE wouldn't be routinely, when there's a libtard in charge, routinely conducting regular checkups with migrants that they are now kidnapping at the point of those checkups. For the record, it's not a crime. It's just paperwork. Like, you're waiting for your paperwork to be fulfilled to stay in the country, right? So I think ICE should be abolished 100%. This is a civil violation to cross the border illegally, or a civil violation to overstay your visa, which is, of course, the majority of undocumented migrants on U.S. soil are visa overstayers. Okay? But the crime that we're talking about in and of itself is simply paperwork, waiting for your paperwork. In most circumstances, these people are just waiting for their paperwork, and the government turns off the opportunity for said paperwork to be fulfilled. And then they go, nope, you're done. You're out. I consider this completely ridiculous, completely unacceptable. ICE's affairs are unimaginably cruel and completely unjustifiable. And also, it doesn't help anything. It hurts commerce. It hurts these communities. It hurts the culture. It the vibes up. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It is for no good reason. The only reason why all of these raids are happening is because Trump has been able to successfully whip up an incredible amount of hatred and dehumanization against migrants, claiming that they were all criminals. So much so that even other people who are related to undocumented migrants themselves ended up voting for him. The alternative was so ass from their perspective that they went and they voted for Donald Trump. I understand that this is a frustrating moment for many liberals to turn around and say, well, sucks to suck. Okay? You can never feel this way, because if you are a liberal, or if you're a leftist, if you're a progressive, you believe in the values, okay? You believe in empathy. Your first principles revolve around doing no harm to others or making other people's lives better. So do not gloat. We were in an Uber going to Little Tokyo yesterday from one part of the protest to the next. And the dude that was in the Uber was Latino. And he told me he was so sad that he had voted for Donald Trump, that he never actually foresaw this level of reaction, like this kind of ICE enforcement happening in Los Angeles. And he was wrong. And I fucking yelled about this every goddamn day. I yelled about this every day on this goddamn broadcast. Every day that Donald Trump was a fascist, that he was going to do mass deportations, that no one in the media was actually talking about how severe these deportations were going to look like, how awful these deportations were going to look like. And you want to know why no one in the media was asking that? Because the Democrats themselves were also running on immigration enforcement. They were running to the right. They were don't say fell for it again, because you have to remember, while yes, people who were locked in, people who were laser focused, people who were paying attention, people like yourselves that were in here for the entire journey, sure, you understood the situation, okay? You understood the situation, but you have to recognize that the Democrats themselves also showcased a militant reaction to undocumented migration because they were so scared. They saw the incredible amount of reactionary, right-wing migrants type of sentiment coming from the Republicans for the 4 years that Brandon was in charge. And by the end of said 4 years, Joe Biden turned around and said he was going to do a border wall bill. He was basically going to implement Donald Trump's 2020 vision. They openly admitted that migrants constitute a national security threat. They basically handed that victory to the Trump administration by saying, you know what? We got caught. Trump was right. Migrants are actually criminals. Some of them are really violent ones, as a matter of fact. But we want to be the reasonable way. We want to be the reasonable party that deports some of these criminal migrants. They want to deport every migrant. That kind of idiotic messaging is only going to make the average person think, okay, well, I guess the Republicans were right. I guess the Republicans were right that migrants are criminals. Of course, they're going to think, yeah, I guess I should vote for the honest guys. Why should I vote for the diet version when the real full power soda exists? I'm using Felix Biederman terminology here. The full powered soda, the full powered sugar soda is the Republican Party. The diet, gay, elitist, technocratic version of said soda is the Democratic Party. No one wants to drink the diet soda. We're Americans. Oh, come on. John Oliver never stopped talking about it all the way through the Biden admin starting month 2. Are you John Oliver? Okay. So it was me and John Oliver. CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN. None of these outlets were covering this issue from the perspective of the humanity of undocumented migrants and how cruel it is that we do not simply follow up on their paperwork. You want to know why? Because the Democrats completely dropped the ball. They ran a successful campaign against Donald Trump's ridiculous anti-migrant policies when Trump was in office. Joe Biden literally had a 100 first days immigrant agenda in his 2020 campaign. He didn't do a single part of it. Okay? He didn't do that. He didn't do that at all. And no one called into question his lack of interest in dealing with a migrant crisis.
Impeding a highway? They are. They're impeding a highway.
Yeah, they are impeding a highway, and that's unacceptable. But those cops are also then using said highway for the rest of the night to stage, okay, because that's what they did. Those cops then impeded the highway for the rest of the night as a staging ground, by the way. But Asmongold, of course, has no issue with that. These guys are impeding the highway in protest. That's wrong. They should be arrested. Cops impede the highway so they can use the same taxpayer-funded weapons on their own tax-paying citizens to defend ICE raids in the state, a sanctuary state, in a sanctuary city. That's perfectly valid. Do you understand the double standard? It all revolves around institutions and defending institutional power, defending state power. You're like, no, cops can do whatever the they want. They can be as violent as they want. That's perfectly valid because on the other side, the people that are receiving that violence are probably doing something that they shouldn't be doing. You're not even entertaining the idea that maybe the cops should not be doing this. The vast majority of Americans do not want to deport most illegal immigrants who lived here for years and are productive members of society. The fact that the Democrats are scared to fight on an issue where they have a 61-24% majority is absolutely pathetic. Yeah, also, this is not new, okay? People wanted mass deportations, right? Everyone said, oh, well, 60% of Americans want mass deportations. What did I say? What the did I say whenever those polls came out? Two things. Number one, those polls also have a second question that never gets brought up in media. When given two options, mass deportation or mass amnesty, the majority always goes with mass amnesty. Okay? That's the second option is never discussed. And number two, these people are advocating for a thing that they do not understand. And it is up to both the media and, more importantly, the Democratic Party, the counter message, to show how depraved mass deportations would look like. And if the Democrats don't actually, one, talk about the humanity of migrants and how we are a nation of migrants and how these people are wonderful contributors to American society, that they're just working alongside all of us every single day, and how important it is that we actually pay them back, how we actually give them the paperwork, how we actually allow them to become more productive members of society that can take more of the amenities, they can use more of the amenities. When the Democrats don't do that and the market is flooded with right-wing sentiment, you arrive at Haitians are eating cats and dogs. Haitians on temporary protective status that Trump offered them, by the way, just as the Biden administration did, are actually illegal aliens and they're eating cats and dogs. That's what the discourse was. It blew my mind. If you let these guys, even with liberals, okay, this is why I yell at liberals all the time. If you let the right-wing reactionary psychopaths drive discourse, they are always going to escalate. They are always going to say even more insane things, even more violent things, even more radical things, because they have not logically arrived at their position. They have arrived at their position not by looking at the facts of the ground, facts of the matter, looking at the facts on the ground, looking at empirical evidence. They arrived at that conclusion out of anger, resentment, and fear. They arrived at that because they have a white nativist attitude, a white supremacist attitude, an idea that like third world migration is actually disrupting American culture and ruining American society. We don't want to be around these blacks and browns. Like that's their mentality. That's their primary focus here. And they will do anything to try and radicalize average people every single day. And they did it so goddamn successfully. It blows my mind. They did it so successfully that Latino men were going, that's right. I, Jose, believe that we should get these bad migrants out of this country. It's like, bro, they think you're the bad migrant. They think you are also the third world guy that ruined the culture of this country. That's what they're saying. Oh,